University of Iowa, presented by Cliff Keen Athletic. Oklahoma State versus Iowa. 40,000 plus fans have come into Kinnick Stadium, the largest ever to see a Division I program. This is Tim Johnson along with my broadcast partner, Jim Gibbons. Jim, on my drive up from Illinois, I noticed that the cornfields were bare. All the work of the Iowa farmers is done. All they have left on their plate is to watch their hawks. Wow, the stage is set for a remarkable day. It's an early big meet between two storied programs. It's big, wow.
Well, I tell you what it is, and months ago when Tom Brands and the Iowa administration decided to extend the invitation, they really raised the stakes in this rivalry, and John Smith and the Cowboys immediately had a snap call.
Well, take a Oklahoma State, yes, has three really great wrestlers.
Well, three wrestlers ranked in at number one. You've got Dean Heil, Alex Deringer, the two-time national champion, and Kyle Crutchman, the number one ranked wrestler at 174.
And Iowa's got some leaders too.
And Iowa's got Thomas Gilman and Corey Clark, two All-Americans in the first two weight class, and they got Brandon Sorensen, a favorite wrestler at his weight as well.
The fans have come out, the sun is out, and so is our third broadcast partner, Shane Sparks. Shane?
I'll tell you what, TJ, you could not have a better day than today. They've come from everywhere, all parts of the country. All roads today lead to Kinnick Stadium, and one thing we know, this is a sport for Mother Nature. Sunny skies, we're going to flirt with 60 degrees, going to be a great time. Epic day in Iowa sports history. Is this Iowa? It's Iowa. Today, it's heaven. TJ?
Welcome to Kinnick Stadium. Never before seen of this magnitude. Wow.
Tim, I didn't think we'd need sunscreen today. All right?
There's awesome. Your defense soak matchups, and Clamara versus Gilman is starting out. And then we go down the road to 57. 49 is going to be great. Kalika Sorensen. We're ready for 125-pound Thomas Gilman versus Eddie Clamara. Both All-Americans. Clamara out of Providence Catholic, Joliet, Illinois. Thomas Gilman out of Scott Catholic in Omaha, a four-time state champ, All-American last year. Clamara a senior, Thomas Gilman a junior.
Well, like so many of the Cowboys, Clamara had a nice NCAA tournament.
We are ready to wrestle.
Gilman, a consistent wrestler all through last season. He really looks sharp here. I was able to go ahead and see a little bit of the Iowa practices. He's always been the big 125-pounder, carries a lot of, range in his body, and Clamara really quick, lightning quick. These matches before have been all Gilman, though, so Gilman a heavy favorite in this bout and potentially a bonus point situation for the Hawks.
Clamara, a very interesting story. He was dismissed from the team in 2014 after the NCAAs, had a little run-in with the law, but got his life in order, and that's what Coach John Smith does so well. He stayed with him, the university stayed with him, and he's worked his way back onto the team and into being an All-American for the first time last year.
I got to tell you, with that radiant heat right now with that sun, clear skies here in Iowa City, this is just perfect weather. And, middle of the season, this, weight's not necessarily a factor, but these first couple weigh-ins, it really is getting acclimated, and I think this cooler weather is actually going to be beneficial for the athletes not getting tired, and we're going to see really good action.
Thomas Gilman for the Iowa Hawkeyes in the black singlet and the green ankle band. Eddie Clamara for the orange and black, for the Cowboys in the red ankle band. You noticed Jeff Cook, the official, he's got a red ankle band around his left and a green ankle band around his right wrist, and he'll signify points that way.
Those are football officiating uniforms. the wide stripes.
Very appropriate.
Yeah.
Very appropriate. As we're in the south end zone at Kinnick Stadium, over 40,000 tickets already sold. We'll tell you at halftime the total number of tickets sold, but it's amazing.
Easily over half of the stadium filled.
And then the game tonight, the Iowa Hawkeyes undefeated, going up against their rival Minnesota, trying to become 10-0 for the first time in history of the football program. Sold out, 70,000 plus tonight. Over 110,000 fans going in and out of the turnstiles of Kinnick today in one day. What a weekend at the University of Iowa.
So far, this has been a good period for Clamara. Remember, he's been dominated. There's a whip-over situation there for Gilman, but Gilman likes to attack that left leg of Klimara, all right? He can go both sides, but his preferred side is that back leg, and he's having trouble getting over to it. So this is, I'm sure that there's been a lot of scouting. Now Gilman has nice head position. He's going to snap around to the other side, but Klimara from Oklahoma State doing a pretty good job of squaring up. Talk a little bit about this mat, a special mat. No, nice ankle pick there by Klimara. Now follows it up with a double leg shot. So there's the strength of Gilman, scrambling all the way through. But this mat is a special mat that does have, it's pliable. It's got a hard surface to it. It's in 6-foot sections. And the floor of Kinnick Stadium is normally heated to, above freezing. So they got a heat source to it, so that is not an issue.
Well, we've got a heat source with that sun in our eyes here, Jim. And
black mat too, yeah, it's awesome. Nice tried an ankle pick. Now Gilman's got an opportunity, but notice how Klimara was able to come over the top of that ankle pick with his his left elbow, able to block that off.
15 seconds, we'll see what Gilman has here, because certainly Klimara controlling the pace that he likes here in the first period. If he can get out with no score, it'll be big.
Yeah, he comes over the top of that ankle pick again with an overhook. Now he's into a whizzer situation. They're able to put the leg in against 2.
2 points with 1.5 seconds left.
Yeah, that's the range. That is the range of Thomas Gilman, okay, able to go ahead and put that leg in. You see it, take a look at the replay. He reaches to it and see Klimara's over the top with that whizzer, but just puts that leg in, grabs the ankle, picks it up high, and that's the way you put that leg in. Grab that near ankle, pick it up high. 2-point takedown for Gilman. Unanswered points at the end of the period.
Gilman will choose down to begin the second period in this first match at 125 pounds. That's where we started. We're just getting started at Kinnick Stadium. Oklahoma State, Iowa, 2 most storied programs in the history of college wrestling going at it early on. It never happens.
Gilman not quite out yet. Now he gets the escape. Again, will Klimara be able to stay on the offense, be able to get low, or will this turn into a kind of a head-stamping fest where Gilman's able to stuff the head and get the angle he likes?
What's the difference mentally, Jim, if Klimara would have been able to go the first period without giving up the takedown? It's just huge.
It just turns it into a 4-minute match, and I think that's, again, an advantage that you can just hang around, but right now he stuffed the head again. Again, every time that Gilman goes, he's going to stuff the head. And I was impressed with him when I was in the practice room yesterday, just the way he was drilling. And this 40,000 fans are stalling, coming alive here. Nothing's changed from Carver as far as getting those calls, and the crowd knows when to respond.
That's a warning stalling and a second warning because he was called for stalling on the mat, and then Jeff Cook, the official, called him for backing out of the circle, not trying to get back to the center. So that's 2 calls inside 10 seconds. A warning, and then the second call, a point.
Well, if you see the way he went off the mat, he went directly back, and that's a new rule change. And clarification there. That score is now 4-0. That's not going to change.
Let's go.
Good look at Coach Brands.
Both Brands, Tom and Terry the associate head coach, both world champions. Tom Brands, 3-time NCAA champion and Olympic champion. 10th year at Iowa as the head coach.
Well, that's just as good as getting 2 takedowns in the first period. That action right there with the escape, and you see Klimara, he's going to try to attack the low leg, and now Gilman with that outstanding reach he has, but he gets over to the far side, and this is about ready to turn into a rout.
And now with 20 seconds left, he's going to keep him on the mat right here, but he's having it his way. We're talking about Gilman out in front 6-0, having it his way.
Well, you know what? A great adjustment by Gilman's part. He went to his weak side, which is the left side, but when he went to finish, he finished on his strong side. Got over to the other side of the body, and crowd appreciates that.
Thomas Gilman for Iowa out in front 6-0. He'll start on the top now. Klimara will choose down to begin the third period, trailing 6-0.
think that this is a situation where you want to try to go ahead and secure the 8 points, minimum of 8 points. So I look for Gilman to not spend a lot of time worrying about riding time right here.
Jim talking about the extra point that comes with a major decision, winning by 8 or more points. And now the technical fall, 15 points where the match is terminated, does not have to have near fall points, and so you get 2 extra points if you get a 15-point spread on your opponent. Right now, Thomas Gilman got about 20 seconds of riding time, so he's looking to build up that riding time.
He's doing a nice job with the spiral ride. You notice how he gets that left elbow of his opponent out. When you get that elbow out, you can grab the wrist. Klimara really kind of content. You know, this is an event, you know what the situation is. You know you don't want to give bonus points up. You're bound in the match. You know, this is a situation where Gilman now is going to cut now that he's got 50 seconds of riding time.
50 seconds of riding time. When he takes him down, he'll get the extra riding time. And boy, is Gilman stalking Klimara.
Well, he is. He's waiting for that weak shot. If he gets the weak shot, he's going to drift to his right. He's best when he's moving to his right, attacking that left leg. That's his strong suit, but what I see from him right now is he's willing to go to both sides.
Gilman's paid his dues too. He did not wrestle as a redshirt freshman. He lost the starting job to Corey Clark, and so he came out last year as a sophomore, now a junior, but an All-American last year in his first year in the lineup. Yeah, very accomplished worldwide as well in freestyle.
Klimara's getting a little bit long in the pitch count. It's the same motion, it's the same attack every time, and the penetration is not quite there the way it was in the beginning, so you can kind of see he's a little bit, it's not necessarily gas, but he's flustered that he can't get to a leg.
For the major, for the extra point and 4 points for the team, Gilman needs to take Klimara down here prior to the 22nd mark and ride him out. He's on the ankle.
Yep, he's on the ankle. He's got his shoulder below the knees, looking for the far ankle. Klimara reaching back into the crotch, trying to create it's going to be a potentially dangerous situation. Actually, Klimara put himself in that position, and referee Jeff Cook, and I like the wide stripes. Look at those wide stripes there, those officials.
There's a job to do by Klimara right here because he's in a position not to give up that extra point.
Yeah, stuffed ahead again. This is easy position for Gilman to score. He's just so efficient in here. Gathering up.
He gets to 2, and it's going to be close. Yes, he's going to get the riding time.
Yeah, he keeps him down here. Klimara's got it coming up to his feet, but Gilman drops in.
Here comes the count. 1. He'll get a warning, but he has not been warned.
Yep, he'll get the warning right here. Now, Klimara.
You can't stay down on the legs for more than 5 seconds or you'll get warned. Next time it'll be stall. But it didn't matter. 5 seconds left.
Well, this is the part of the rule that maybe many people have not anticipated. Gilman can just drop down. No, you don't want to see. This is where, those are team point issues here.
Boy, that's really stupid.
You shove a guy like that, and somehow the Oklahoma State coaching staff is getting warned. Team points are at a premium here in a match like this, and we both saw where he pushed Klimara down, ironically after a stall call on Gilman.
Been all Gilman, done a tremendous job of controlling the pace here.
No question about it.
What a beautiful match he's had.
Good question, no question about it. Just the unnecessary stuff at the end, but I think he's going to be pretty happy with his performance.
Yep, the major. The extra point, 9-1 with riding time. Thomas Gilman gets the Hawks off to a big start. Iowa 4, Oklahoma State 0.
What a thrill. What a thrill to win the first match outdoors in front of this type of crowd. And the Oklahoma State coaching staff is still unhappy with that call.
Or non-call.
Non-call, yeah. And but hey, that's part of it. So
well, that's how Iowa wanted to get out. Gilman bringing him out hot.
Yeah, you know what? What you saw there from Gilman, I think that you didn't see as much last year. Attacks to both sides of the body. In order to compete well at this level, be an All-American, be an NCAA champion, you've got to be able to go ahead and attack both sides of the body. There you see Corey Clark, the Iowa 133-pounder, two-time All-American.
Out of Southeast Polk, outside of Des Moines, Iowa, coached by Chad Christensen.
And the both teams have warm-up areas back in the bowels of Kinnick Stadium here where they have a mat. The temperature is a balmy 70 degrees back there, so they're coming from that warm-up area on the mat. There's Gary Wayne Harding.
Gary Wayne Harding, four-time state champ out of Collinsville High School in Collinsville, Oklahoma, will go up against the All-American, two-time All-American, Corey Clark for the Hawkeyes. Clark on the right in the black, and Harding on the left there in the black and orange of the Cowboys.
I almost thought for a second the Cowboys were going to bring back the tights. You know, the traditional Oklahoma State uniform was just a plain orange singlet with the black tights. Yeah, he's had the black shoes. Remember many days watching their teams in the Armory at Ames, Iowa. Myron Roderick was bringing his teams, but you know, that situation here for Corey Clark, no points because you know Harding looked like he had a little bit of a Peterson roll going there, so non-call. But what a great tournament Corey Clark had last year at the NCAA's, making it to the finals, and yeah. Kind of got lit up there, and as Tom Brands had talked about, no, nice low shot right there. He's got probably the biggest repertoire of offense, I think, of the Hawks, of the 10 Hawks out there. Always has. It just always creates a lot of scramble situations, creating a little bit of hip separation now. See how he's turning hard? Harding basically trying to scoop up the near leg. If he does, he could potentially get a takedown. I can't see where Clark has his knee.
He's got to keep
right
that
into his
head
knee,
there.
but that's
Covers the hips for two. Corey Clark gets two for Iowa.
Corey Clark being patient, putting his head on that knee and elevating the ankle, and Harding just basically had to give up the position.
Clark all the way to the finals last year at 133, where he got beat by Cody Brewer, national champion from Oklahoma. Doesn't feel good about the way he wrestled, but here he's driving for the pin.
This is
Corey
tight.
Clark.
It's tight. He's got to settle back and maybe straighten his right arm a little bit. He's up a little bit high. This is it. The roll through was enough to be able to get out of it. Good job by Harding getting out of that, but he's not out of danger yet. Remember, a 4 count this year, you receive 4 back points, so that the score is already 6-0.
4 points, near fall for Corey Clark. Nice job by Harding getting off his back.
Yeah, it was a beautiful job with that. He caught a high elbow, was able to drive straight across. One of the better rule changes that we have, we allow guys to work in that top position. And Clark was right on it. Great mat return by Clark. Again, he's doing business again. He's got that. See the high elbow, the right high elbow. If you can underhook that, he's in business. And Harding giving him that position by keeping that elbow high.
Clark wrestling with a lot of confidence, a lot of pressure high on Harding. Harding gets the escape with 15 seconds left in the first period. Scores 6-1 in favor of the Hawkeye, Corey Clark.
Well, you know, looking at the matchups, definitely 25 and 33 were, you know, Iowa was heavy favored. They had the All-Americans, of course, the higher placing All-Americans, but bonus points were also on the table, and certainly in this match.
It's a new rule in collegiate wrestling this year. You hold them down for the right amount of count. It's a 4-point near fall.
Public address announcer Phil Hattie commenting on the 4, letting the crowd know about the 4-point near fall.
Corey Clark chooses down to begin the second period. Gary Wayne Harding comes on top.
I like that call because, you know, there's a difference between taking a guy from his feet to his back and getting back points and then holding them there for the full 4 count. And now you've got a potential of a 6-point move from the feet to the back if you hold them there for 4 seconds. Harding coming out in a tight spiral ride. see the battle right now that it gives up. Clark has given up both legs, but he's pretty good at getting out from under the legs. I mean, double boots in right now is a tough position to get out of. But notice how he's keeping his butt up. He's trying to go ahead and lift that left leg over the left leg of Harding. If he can scoot him off to the side. See how now he's coming shoelace to the back heel right there. Almost got it.
The riding time that Corey Clark built up in the first period has been erased by Harding now on top.
Yeah, see, but Harding is getting a little bit high. He's got to settle back. He's trying to get behind it. Now, see how he's got the leg secured. He's able to stretch that right leg out, and Harding really got bailed out there by the stalemate call. Jeff Cook.
Clark will go back down in the position. They have to hold their position motionless for at least 1 second. That's a new rule this year.
How about this weather?
Caution on Corey Clark. He jumped the gun. Again, new rule, you just have to sit motionless for at least a second.
They call it cover legal. The referee will say cover legal. They ask the top man to cover 1 full second, and it's going to take a while for guys to get used to it.
And there's the escape for Clark. He goes out in front 7-1.
Look for Clark to get right back on his offense. Likes to work off the 2-on-1. And you know what they do quite a bit of at Iowa is they'll take that wrist and run it straight down, and they'll attack low off of it, off that 2-on-1. Watch him take that wrist almost straight down and almost take the elbow in a way that it's not naturally going to bend, but they put a lot of pressure on you.
Harding may be a little bit outmatched here with Clark, but according to Coach Smith, he likes the way he always wrestles to the whistle, and he had a big fight off his back, but Clark moving to the legs, looking for that far leg now.
And he's able to do that all within about 1.5 feet off the mat, you know, be able to stuff the head, move around, now roll through situation, and that probably bailed Harding out. He's elbow deep on that ankle. Able to continue to wrestle all the way through it. So, you know, you have to tip your hat there to Harding. He competed all the way through that last 30 seconds. But, you know, the pressure's on. Clark will put constant pressure on you. Like I said, I like his technique. He attacks both sides of the body. And he's also tough in the top position. Don't expect him just to give a quick escape. Here he'll try to work him over a little bit. Maybe recapture some of that riding time. Harding is giving up that wing pretty easily. See, his left arm is captured. Now he's got to keep his elbow in. Clark really committing to it. Now he's going to try to break him down a little bit to that point of that left shoulder. If he does that, he can break him down. He puts the leg in. Maybe work for a tilt. We used to see this type of action with like Terry and Troy Steiner. He used to do a lot of this leg in, far side. Now he puts both legs in. Now I expect him to kind of take the legs out, work on that high elbow. The right elbow is high.
Potentially dangerous, called by the official.
So I think the coaching staff at Iowa's thinking in terms of bonus points right now. Let him up. Yep, they're going to let him up. Just kind of an intentional release at that point. Problem with that, you've left Harding with a competitive situation. He might be able to score. Nice job by Clark squaring back up. Working off the wrist. Now expect him to come directly into a shot from this position. He's got the tie he wants. Off the underhook and wrist, advantage situation. Comes off of it. Again, 7-2 score.
30 seconds left.
And Clark needs a takedown and a ride out, all right, to make this a 10-2 match. So really important for Clark to stay on the offensive. Harding, you know, he's given up. He's been pretty good on that. Now single leg there by Clark. Gonna try to come up with it. There, he comes up in a better lifting position. You see Harding is looking for the roll through. He got it. Oh. Not much there.
And if he can hang on right here, but
3 seconds.
hooks the leg. No points.
Wow. You know, that was close.
So a regular decision, 8-2 with riding time. Corey Clark wins. Harding, who was almost pinned in the first period, makes a match of it. And the Iowa gets 3 more points and goes out in front 7-0.
Yeah.
Now after 2 matches, neither coaches are happy with the officials, Jim.
Well, yeah, and, you know, the Iowa coaching staff, I mean, that was potentially a point. You could make a case for a takedown there, as I think he was almost all the way over the top, and he didn't have much of a...
So fireworks, environment, unbelievable. We'll come back for 141 next. Wrestling on BTN is presented by Cliff Keen Athletic, built for life, and brought to you by IntermatWrestle.com, the leader in amateur wrestling news and analysis. Let's go to Shane with Corey Clark.
All right, TJ, Corey, you came out here, high urgency, great start. Talk about that approach, and what's it like wrestling in front of 40,000 fans?
I try and block that out for the most part, just take it just as if it was in Carver or in the practice room, because that's when I wrestle best. But afterward, it's nice to soak it in and enjoy it. It's pretty amazing out here. I mean, it's fuller than I could have imagined, and then the high urgency, I mean, that's just how I've wrestled from day one, and I just got to continue that.
Congratulations. Thanks, Corey. TJ, back to you.
Thanks, Shane. Hawkeyes out in front 7-0. We get ready for 141 pounds. Number 1 ranked Dean Heil, who was 4th last year as a freshman, had a great finish in the season. Through a 14th seed coming in the NCAAs, going up against redshirt freshman Logan Ryan out of Bettendorf, a 2-time state champion in Iowa.
Well, I'll tell you what, what a difference a tournament can make, like the NCAAs. You go in the 14th seed and you end up coming back the next year as the number 1 ranked wrestler. So, you know, Dean Heil, we got a chance to see him at the All-Star meet. Lost to Cody Brewer there from Oklahoma, who came up from 133, but this is a situation where the Cowboys are heavily favored. Logan Ryan getting his first major opportunity in front of a big audience, of course. What big audience? I mean, this is as big as it gets. But
I love what Logan said. He says, I've never even competed in front of the fans at Carver. I can't even imagine in front of 40,000 in Kinnick. So this is his first time as a Hawkeye at home.
Yeah, there you see a nice little misdirection, go one direction, come back to the other. He's got the arm drag, and Heil gets the takedown. So good movement there, and that's something we didn't see out of him at the All-Star meet. He was basically on the defensive most of that match, and you know, Brewer was constantly in on lead leg. But this is a great opportunity for him. Showcase. You know, we talked a little bit about that in the coaches' conference calls. Is that, you know, this is a little bit different approach for Oklahoma State. They're used to doing a lot of drilling and things like that, and John Smith admitted, you know, he changed everything here in preparation for this, but he learned some things, and I think both coaches did in their preparation for this team. But you put in events like this in front of guys who want to be champions, it's you know, you expect big things.
Heil out of St. Edward's High School in Cleveland, Ohio area, Brunswick, Ohio, 4-time state champion Ohio.
Nice little ankle pick there by Ryan. Ryan is kind of do what Gary Wayne Harding did for the Cowboys, is stay in the match. You know, stay in the match and see if you can go ahead and create pace that will be helpful to you later, be tough to score on. You know, Heil back in on a shot. He's going to try to go ahead and scoop the bottom leg, push the head out, all right, kind of limp that right arm out. He's already got that. Now, but Ryan's got an opportunity to go ahead and come back through. No change, and after the call that you got last time, I don't expect the officials to give a quick point here, and they didn't.
Potentially dangerous.
Okay, potentially dangerous, and minute 2 left in the first period, scored 2-1.
Heil back in on the Heil likes to work off that elbow tie, right? You saw that drag that he hit before, and you know, Oklahoma State, more so than a lot of programs, will work off that elbow tie. That's kind of been the historical style right there. Push in, push back, and so they really pride themselves on you not being able to work their head too much. And of course, traditionally the Iowa style is to work the head, so it's always been through the years a great matchup of styles between these two programs, elbow tie versus collar tie.
These two wrestled last year, with Heil beating Ryan in an open tournament 8-1, and he'll lead 2-1 at the end of the first period here at 141 pounds, with the Hawkeyes leading 7-0 after 125 and 133. Hawkeye fans are
happy with that
excited
first,
about, yes, the first period of this guy they haven't seen before, Logan Ryan.
I think they got to be happy with that first period. And you know, for somebody like Heil, you know, you number one ranked guy, but a lot of losses on the season last year. You're spending most of the first semester, you know, kind of reproving yourself. And you know, sometimes you get guys that are, you know, All-Americans, and they go, well, I don't want to wrestle that guy. Then other guys are kind of, oh, gosh, if he can do it, I can do it, you know. And
well, you make a really good point, Jim, because Dean Heil did not have a season that you can look back and say, man, that was a great season. He had a great finish.
Yeah.
And so right now they're looking for him to now really put it into gear and have a great start for the Cowboys.
And get bonus points. But part of being one of those top guys is you come into meets like this where you're heavily favored and you run it up. And that he's getting some riding time here. That riding time is now over a minute. But again, Logan Ryan doing what he needs to do to stay in the match. And, you know, look over at the Oklahoma State corner. They're really not telling him to either cut him or anything like that. Making the freshman prove he can get out.
Riding time advantage. Approaching a minute and a half for Heil.
Yeah, just this basic near wrist ride. And, you know, you want to test underclassmen in the down position. You know, he's going to go ahead and put the leg in. I think Heil would like to get that wrist behind the back, and I'm going to call stalling on the bottom man. He just can't get off his belly right now. Again, we always talk about this, elbows out and wrist in. You're going to get that wrist trapped, and now he's able to tip back, and now he's going to get one count. And it's potentially illegal there where they bring the wrist away from the back.
Potentially dangerous.
So dominating ride on top by Heil, but no points scored yet. There is a stall warning on Logan Ryan.
You know, Tim, when I wrestled, I really like to work one side of the body in the top position, which in this case would be Ryan's right arm. You work that right arm on that near wrist ride. Then when you're on your feet in the third period, that arm is about like rubber, all right? And so you can go ahead and attack that side of the body, and you're not going to have much resistance. So again, Heil right back up on that near wrist ride. So he's really put a lot of pressure on that right arm. Not much of a chance to get out here. No hip separation.
So your point being that Heil's really put the pressure on, and Logan Ryan certainly had a hard time from getting out from underneath. What will he be like in the third period here on top? Heil choosing down, Ryan coming on top.
Yeah, Ryan's a pretty solid wrestler in the top position himself. So again, 2-1 score, 2:25 of riding time.
Heil came to the Cowboys as a 133-pounder and really tried to make it work, but just couldn't. It was too much, almost left the campus, but his parents and John Smith helped him make a good decision to stay in the Cowboy program, and boom, you're fourth in the nation, you're an All-American, and you're ranked #1 as a junior, or as a sophomore.
There you see Heil working off that nice little arm drag there by Ryan. Now he comes back to the ankle pick, attacks both sides of the body. And this is what he's been able to do. He's been able to stay in the match. He's got to find a way to, you know, get some attacks and get this crowd behind him.
The escape for Heil gives him a 3-1 lead. There is riding time, so it's effectively a 3-point lead, but the pressure now being put on by Ryan for the Hawkeyes. There's a nice shot by Heil.
Yeah, but he's trailed. He wasn't able to get his right toe out of there, and now
Can he slip it?
he's going to try to go ahead and come up. He's going to limp his right arm back up on the top. He gets the 2-point takedown.
Hook the leg, 2-point takedown, and there's some separation for the All-American from Oklahoma State. Heil goes out in front 5-1. He's got riding time at 6-1 effectively, a 5-point lead. If he could turn him for 4, it would be a major decision.
Yeah, but Ryan needs to get his thighs a little bit closer to his chest here and create those, less of a pocket for Heil to get in, and he's in danger of probably getting called for stalling again. Cross-face cradle attempt, you usually don't get that. I mean, you got to really have a lot of Ed Ruth type strength.
Heil's shown a lot of patience, a lot of poise throughout this entire match for the Cowboys. And it looks like he's going to get their first win. They're stalling underneath. That'll be a point. That'll be a point for Heil.
Short time. So just a decision for the #1 ranked wrestler.
So a decision for the Cowboy gives them 3 points on the big board. Hawkeyes ahead 7-3 after 141 pounds with the sun shining brightly on the mat, and the 40,000 plus Hawkeye fans and Oklahoma State fans showing their approval, especially the black and orange. And they came in a bus and they came in planes, and they've got a nice crowd themselves, Jim.
They really do. And of course, you see Big Leroy Smith Sr. with the black hat and bench, and he's a fixture at Carver when the Cowboys come, and then gentlemen.
Well, you're talking about the patriarch of the Smith family, most famous family in American wrestling history, and John Smith, the head coach, Leroy and Pat, and their nephews, and now John has a son wrestling for him, a true freshman that we probably won't see. But here we are at 149 pounds. Anthony Kalika for Oklahoma State down to 149 from 157 last year versus Brandon Sorensen for the Hawkeyes.
Great matchup here. Kalika down at a weight that he's maybe a little bit more comfortable at, and at a weight he's more comfortable at. And Sorensen, boy, I was really impressed with him last year. Physical wrestler. He's just so solid, and you have to be good in all phases to be able to beat Sorensen. He's just comes at you, keeps a good high pace all the way through the match. This will be fun to watch.
Anthony Kalika did defeat Sorensen last summer at the at a junior national, or at a national tournament in Akron, 5-3 at the University Nationals in Akron last summer. Kalika has been at 3 different weights for the Cowboys. Started at 141, jumped to 157, and now back to 149 after Josh Kindig graduated in that weight class. And like you said, Jim, he's at a weight that he's pretty comfortable with, and the Cowboys are very excited about his prospects this year. From Solon, Ohio, a 3-time Ohio State champion.
And Sorensen was ranked #1 for a good part of the season last year. He had the nice win against Surtsas early in the year. But this is a nice, really a deep weight class here with quality wrestlers, and just like last season, you're going to see a lot of tight matches and all season. You can see where Kalika likes to attack low, likes to attack below the knee.
Sorensen finished 4th last year as a freshman, and he was a 4-time state champion at Denver High School. Led his team to a couple of state championships. And one of his coaches is Dad Dwight.
And he likes it right there. That's a power tie for him. He's in a good position to be able to shoot. Wasn't able to get it off. He likes to work off that inside bicep tie. Oh, just driven in.
Oh, what a shot.
Wow.
2. Takedown Sorensen.
Oh, he really caught him off balance on that one. I think Kalika was thinking inside bicep tie, and he said, well, you know what, I'm going to just drop in on the leg, just drop in on your lead leg, and Kalika wasn't expecting that at all. No reaction.
There's going to be a long pause, okay, gentlemen?
Great shot and takedown by Brandon Sorensen. He's out in front 2-0 now. The Hawks are out in front of the Cowboys 7-3 after 3 matches. We're at 149, the 4th of 10. We'll finish at heavyweight.
You're going to see a lot of that this year, particularly in the early season. The guys just not ready. They have to wait a full count underneath. And you see a lot of cautions. Of course, the 3rd caution is 1 point, so that ends up being a big thing in some of these tight matches. And Sorensen always been very solid. There it is. There's a count.
Got the 2 count and 2 points. A suck back to the back, 2 counts, 2 point, near fall, 4-0 in favor of the Hawkeye.
Well, you can see that Kalika got his hips a little bit too far away on that changeover attempt, and this is an old school ride. Near wrist ride on the ankle. And a lot of work is being done by that right arm of Sorensen. You see how he gets his elbow straight. He's able to knock him down, and he uses he's up on his toes. So Kalika is carrying a lot of weight. And just by that suck back attempt, you know, Kalika is not thinking about committing to that hip separation the way you need to.
10 seconds left in the first period. Sorensen out with a 2-point takedown and 2-point near fall. He'll finish the period on top with a 4-0 lead and a riding time advantage of 1:20. Great first period for Brandon Sorensen.
You know, I didn't think that this would be a match where you kind of look for bonus points. Certainly the first 3 were. And, you know, we only got bonus points at the 25-pound weight class, and that was really kind of at the end. But, you know, if Sorensen, who's probably slightly favored in this bout, able to pull away bonus points, it's huge in this meet.
Putting it on the line early. Don't you love Oklahoma State and Iowa? They've not met before January since 1982. Do you love it?
I really do. I mean, the whole environment here of both programs, and I got to tip my hat to Tom Brands and the Iowa administration for even thinking about this. It was unthinkable. You know, can you pull it together? You know, like Tom mentioned, the people that run the Kinnick Stadium, the physical plant, you know, is a creative adventure for them to go ahead and put this all together. And then John Smith, you know, hey, it's 75 degrees in Stillwater, Oklahoma right now. And, you know, we have some bad weather in Iowa at this time of year. And immediately decided to go ahead and do it because it was the best thing for the sport.
And John feels a responsibility someday, some way, to be in Oklahoma State's football stadium doing the same thing. And so the bar has been raised, and John feels like it's a good thing to start out strong like they have, and he's going to change some things up because he feels that the wrestlers can work harder than they even thought they could.
Well, these two guys, Brandon Sorensen is the guy who's been getting a lot of work done, jumping out to a 5-0 lead. Again, really the onus is on Kalika. All right, what is he going to do here? He likes to attack below the knee with the knee that has the knee pad, and Sorensen's pretty effective at changing his lead leg up. So that's the lead leg on his shot, the one with the knee pad, and you kind of see the chess match going on right now. Kalika really has not picked up his footwork. And when he's backed up, he's kind of stood up.
Approaching a minute left in the second period. These wrestlers get to go on and off the mat, Jim. You and I have to stay out there. We're going to have, I didn't bring my suntan, sun protection because we've got the sun on our forehead and it's going to be red here pretty soon.
Well,
it's a beautiful, stunning day in Iowa City. Over 40,000 fans in Kinnick Stadium.
Sorensen doing a nice job of cutting off Kalika when he wants to head to his left. Kalika hasn't been able to show he can attack both sides of the body yet. He's drifting over to the left. And I think, you know, Sorensen has him read right now. I mean, a lot of frustration.
20 seconds left in the second period. It's all Sorensen so far in this anticipated matchup. Like I said, Kalika beating Sorensen.
Getting to the leg again
this summer.
He got to the leg. Now he's back on a whizzer situation. Nice job by Kalika in the scramble. 3 seconds left.
And no points there.
I really like the fact that Sorensen got on a shot right there. That would have been a great time for an unanswered point. You know, a lot of guys will, with the lead there, will just kind of drift it out. And, hey, if my opponent's not going to do anything, but he was all about trying to score there.
Sorensen will go on top. Kalika needs to get something going here. He's down 5-0. Sorensen's got the riding time. We'll try to add on to it here for a little while.
Well, if you take a look at that's 6-0, so, you know, probably needs an escape Let's go right here. Needs 2 takedowns.
Whatever it is, he's got to get after it right now. We're talking about Colica trailing 5-1 and riding time advantage Sorensen. Hawks out in front of the Cowboys 7-3 after 3 matches. We're at 149 pounds.
You can see Colica raising his level a little bit. Sorensen is wrestling about a half head lower than him. You know, now you're thinking bonus points, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys just been warned for stalling. It's kind of one of those no harm stall calls at this stage anyway. I think everybody knows that Colin needs to get busy. Fake left, go right.
2 top 8 ranked wrestlers. The National Intermat Rankings, partner with Big Ten Network. Sorensen, ranked number 3. Anthony Colica, ranked number 8. And Sorensen, proving his worth right now. Out in front 5-1, less than a minute left with riding time. He has dominated this performance.
And I think for Sorensen to get that extra team point, he had to get on a leg. But now Colica did finally get to that leg with the knee pad on it. All right. He's able to finish it out. He breaks his grip. Now he comes back up. I never like going to the head there, you know.
Watch Sorensen to hip into him, break that grip,
well,
and get out.
You break the grip against a good wrestler, you're just not going to get it, and it's just a give up. Back it on that leg. Now he's not able to get the grip. Sorensen really needs 2 takedowns and a ride out with 18 seconds left. So not a bonus point opportunity. Kind of went as scheduled, but you know, this Sorensen's going to be tough to beat this year.
He really is. 4th last year as a freshman, and really coming on with a strong performance here at 149. The Hawkeye wins. 3 more points for Iowa. Puts them out in front at 10-3 after 4 matches. So the Cowboys get one at 141 with Dean Heil. So they get 3 points on the board. Brandon Sorensen comes back, gets 3 more for the Hawkeyes, and they lead 10-3. We'll come back for a mystery weight, 157 pounds after this. Back at Kinnick Stadium, named for the Heisman Trophy winner in 1939, Niall Kinnick. And it's never had a weekend like this. 40,000 watching wrestling, 70,000 tonight for the Iowa football game, 110,000 going through the turnstiles. I doubt if Niall ever dreamed about this. 157 pounds, Chance Marsteller, the freshman for the Cowboys, and a senior, Edwin Cooper Jr. for the Hawkeyes.
We're ready at 157 pounds for Oklahoma State, number 15 ranked.
Edwin Cooper Jr., real interesting. Started at Iowa Central, was a national junior champion. Then he didn't compete the next year, went to Upper Iowa and finished 2nd in Division II, came here to Iowa, didn't break the lineup. He's like that football team, those 5th-year linemen that wait their turn. Edwin Cooper gets his today.
Yeah, and Chance Marsteller was the all-world, number 1 ranked guy coming out of high school, and he just hasn't, hit stride yet, as a young man in the Oklahoma State program. So really an opportunity for Cooper. You kind of say on paper that this is Marsteller's match, but he's a guy that wrestled at 170 in high school, and now he's down at the 57-pound weight class. He probably went up to get the competition, and sometimes you lose a little bit of the quickness. There's a sloppy headlock. All right, Marsteller stepping over the top of it. That was tried to bulldog him down there. It was something you see out of the rodeo.
Chance Marsteller, as Jim was talking about, tremendous high school recruit, the National Dave Schultz Excellence Award, and the Junior Hodge Award winner in 2014, a 4-time Pennsylvania State champion out of Kennard Dale High School. 166-0 in high school, but it's been hard road for him in his redshirt year, and now this year, breaking the lineup at a weight lower, Jim, than he probably would like to be.
Yeah, and for a guy who might be struggling with his confidence, if Cooper can go ahead, there's a near arm far leg. He's got that fairly tight, all right? He's able to go ahead and get the takedown. So
nice takedown by Marsteller out in front, 2-0 for the Cowboy.
And just like what we saw with Logan Ryan before, he was able to go ahead and kind of stay in the match because he was, physical. Don't want to give up those early takedowns because it's just nothing but allow the guy who's used to doing a lot of winning kind of exhale and get back into his game.
Cooper out of Providence Catholic High School, Joliet, Illinois. Both these guys, today's matchups have national implications, but they also have local implications, Jim, because they don't know what their lineups are going to be. And so these guys are out there like these two just trying to say, we belong at this weight class in the varsity lineup.
No question about it, because, a guy like Marsteller, Joe Smith, John's son, the multi-time, the high school All-American and one of the top kids, was able to beat Marsteller pretty handily
in the Oklahoma Open.
This is an Oklahoma State team, just much like the Iowa team, that's looking to win a national title. You've got Ohio State trying to repeat, and Penn State, it's in the mix, and Cornell. They're putting everything out there they can, and red shirts, there's a potential count situation.
And he's getting the count here. And what they're looking for in the Cowboys is for Marsteller to find that energy level, and right now it looks like he has early on.
Yeah, he has. He's just been able to go ahead and secure a tilt for 4 points, so I would have to think that this is a huge confidence thing for him. Now you see how tight he is on the hips. He's able to drop back. Nice job by Cooper answering with the escape. Again, it just looked like he got too comfortable. There's a double. He can score off of this.
And he gets to 2, and the energy just turned around.
Yeah. See, Coach Brands telling Cooper to stay down, keep him down. Now he's going to make sure that he understands that coming back to the center. This match just changed. 6-3. And he's just going to get warned for stalling, and John Smith is saying, get your rear end out there.
Already, the energy level that he found, I said early on, whether or not he can keep it going is a big question right now. We're talking about Marsteller out in front, 6-3.
You hope that Cooper, if you're an Iowa fan, you hope that Cooper realizes how beneficial situation he is with those, that escape and takedown, ride out.
So he rides him out. Cooper, after going down 6-0, he comes roaring back with an escape and a takedown. Marsteller also had a warning on the edge of the mat.
This is the referee's going to allow him a chance to go ahead and, you're supposed to show up on the mat with your shoelaces covered. And I'll tell you what, 40,000 people aren't buying the fact that he has problems with this. Jeff,
did you see how hard it was for him to tie his shoes, though? His fingers, from a standpoint of, and that's what happened when nutrition is such a part of this sport, and Marsteller has never cut weight or understood the nutrition part of the sport before, probably, and so he hasn't created a habit yet at 157. He's got a caution. He jumped the gun.
And he may pay for it. Now, Marsteller's got to, act on the instinct of being a champion. When you put your head on the mat like that, you're not really showing much, particularly when you have your shoelaces flat. And this crowd's going to give Cooper a call.
And the call's going to come.
Absolutely.
He's already been warned.
And I think that, Cooper is doing a nice job of covering on him. He doesn't want to give him anything easy.
Working on the half Nelson, too. He's not just hanging.
Yeah.
Cooper on top. There's warning. 1 point for Cooper. It's now 6-4, and all of a sudden, the match is in reach for Cooper.
Oh, and not only this, he's got the arm behind the back. If Marsteller makes a big move, Cooper can throw. Right here. And now he goes to his back. Marsteller comes back, and he's going to get a count. But I don't know.
He gets a 2 count. So reversal and 2 point.
Now back to the tilt. And Cooper not exploding, not understanding the danger he's in. Gives up another 2 points. So Marsteller really relying on his instincts of being a winner. We all know he doesn't feel good out there. He's relying on his instincts. He's a guy who's won a lot of matches.
All right, there's 2 points for a reversal, 2 points for near fall, another 2 point for near fall, now an escape, and the energy is all Cooper. The scoring has been Marsteller.
Yeah, and now the new rules here, the official will have to make a call. And they go off.
Warning.
Warning.
Against, warning against Marsteller for pulling him off. And so Cooper gets one.
You see John Smith is on his feet, asking him. There's no question about it that Marsteller is trying to slow down the pace of the match at that point.
And there's still a full period left.
Yeah. Cooper still needs to realize that he's still in this match, even though it's 12-2, or 12-6, excuse me. Marsteller has shut down.
So the question is, can Marsteller hold on?
We always talk about this. The pilot light's out. The matches are wet. This is a classic example of it. You're relying on your instincts in your training. And for Cooper, he's got to smell that there's a little bit of blood in the water here and really kind of get after it. He's double-legged. No points. And again, gets the 2-point takedown. Now Iowa coaching staff is asking him to cut him. 1 point escape. It should be pretty easy. Walk right around, but you know what? Sometimes you need to be coached on how to let a guy go. Definitely bailing out. 1:20 left in the match. And Cooper allowing himself to get that right elbow tied up.
Now to get space between him, the double leg can't be stopped.
Yep. Referee will likely call a stalemate in here, give Cooper an opportunity to score, but he walks straight out. I think that's a stall call.
Well, that's a stall. Walked out. That's one more.
Yep.
How many is that? That's three.
3 1-pointers.
Next one's out.
So
next one's a disqualification.
Young man better hit the center here. It's going to be what it's going to be. Just wrestle. And Cooper doesn't realize he's allowing himself to get sucked up on that ride, and Marsteller has given up the takedown. Iowa coaching staff wants to let him up again. Marsteller needs to bring his head up. "30 seconds left. I wouldn't be surprised if they call a stalemate or something like here, even though it's probably not the right call. Let him up. Yep, he called a stalemate. That action right there.
Takedown ties it.
Well, they're gonna let him up. So really, it's a 14-11 score.
14-11. Got to be to his back, or if he backs off.
Short time. And the Cowboys are pretty fortunate here. Their man held it together.
Wow. The early scores,
you called it early.
Marsteller hangs on.
You called it early, Tim. Marsteller was not into that bout after the first 3 minutes, but Cooper really didn't have the techniques available to take advantage of it. Gave up the back points early. If he could have stayed in that match a little bit earlier, it might have been a different outcome.
Cowboys get 3 more in the books. It's 10-6 Iowa at halftime. The crowd voicing their displeasure on the way Marsteller won, but they're still ahead 10-6 Iowa is. Coming up after the break, we will be with the architect of the entire event, Iowa Athletic Director Gary Barta, after this.
We're back at Kinnick Stadium where over 40,000 wrestling fans have come through the turnstiles to cheer on their Hawkeyes. And we have the architect of this event and the Hawkeye Athletic Department in his 10th year leading the Iowa Hawkeye Athletic Department, Gary Barta. Gary, welcome to us, and what an incredible event.
The weather couldn't be better. The fans are incredible, and as I look up at that scoreboard, most importantly, as a competitor, we're up 10-6. So it's been everything we had envisioned. This time of year, the risk of weather was certainly on our minds, but Mother Nature just helped us out. And you mentioned earlier, over 100,000 people going through this historic building in one day. It's never happened before, and we'll see if it ever happens again. And symbolically, we have two statues that we've erected in this athletic department. One for Niall Kinnick, our great Heisman Trophy winner, and one for Dan Gable. And symbolically here, we're putting on both events in one day. And I had breakfast with Dan this morning, and it's just a great day. I'm sorry to keep talking, but I'm excited about what our fans have done and what our wrestlers are doing.
Well, so are we. I think it's better than a trip to the state fair for most Iowans.
Yeah.
Jim, it's just a
And
great
that's saying
day.
a lot.
Yes.
Well, you also got to be very proud of your staff, to put this together. Talk about some of the unique challenges that this event had.
Well, starting from the "we're going to do what" response to everybody involved, our parking division, our security, and you mentioned the setup team, the group that came in here and figured out a way to set this up. Luke Eustace, our director of operations for wrestling, but beyond that, getting these mats out here and figuring out how to set it up, putting in all the hours, knowing that on top of that, we had two basketball games last night. We have a football game tonight and two more basketball games tomorrow, and all they said was, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, they talked about you. Leadership's everything, Gary, and they said if it hadn't come from the top, nobody would have done it with the cheerful way that they did it. And so, it's great to have that type of leadership. Tom Brands talks about it a lot in the way that you support the wrestling program.
Well, wrestling is an incredible sport. I didn't grow up in the state of Iowa, but I did grow up in Minnesota, and I was here one other time, so I've been in the state. It is a special sport, and we have the all-time, of course, the folks at Oklahoma State might argue, but we have the all-time greatest program, and this is a great day for both programs. And at the end of the day, what will make it a great day is making sure we're on top score-wise.
Well, a lot of great events have been held by the University of Iowa, and you have had the Olympic trials in 2012, and now the Olympic trials in 2016, and you just got an honor just this week as far as the Olympics is concerned for Iowa City.
When the first Olympic trials came, it was a testament to our fans. It was a testament to our community, both communities coming together, and the hotels and all the work that took. And once it was done, the Olympic Trial Committee came back to us and said, hey, there's a bid process we need to go through here, but we're pretty sure we wanted to come back. And we said, well, we're pretty sure if you offer, we'll have you back.
Well, it's an incredible event here, and John Smith said, well, the bar's been raised, and we probably need to look into having something at Oklahoma State, so you might be getting a call from Mike Holder down there because he's a pretty innovative guy himself, and so way to raise the bar, Gary.
Well, it's been fun, and Tom and his group, wanting to do it, and then Coach Smith saying, yes, we're willing to come up and do it. It's a little, there's an anxiety when you try something that's never been done, but there's also exhilaration, and so far so good.
Yeah, Jim and I were talking about we didn't bring our sunscreen, because so there's a little anxiety there.
It's also kind of fun to watch the ankle bands blow in the wind across the mat. I mean, things are happening here that you wouldn't normally expect. Winds out of the southeast at 25 miles an hour.
And a great credit to the two of you and BTN for the willingness to make this a marquee event.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And not bad for your Hawkeye football team. You're going for quite a record
it's been
here.
A magical run. Kirk Ferentz is one of the great leaders in college football. There again, that tradition with Niall Kinnick and Hayden Fry and everybody else that's gone before him. And so we have business to take care of tonight. But so far, 9-0. We've never been 10-0 in our history. So let's get this event to come out on the right side and then go try to make history again.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Gary, thank you for your leadership and for all that you mean to Iowa and for bringing this event to Kinnick Stadium. I don't think Niall Kinnick could have ever dreamed of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with second half action of this historic wrestling meet at Kinnick Stadium right after this.
Wrestling on BTN is brought to you by J. Robinson Intensive Camps, that changes forever, and by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. There's Shane Sparks.
Here
Let's
with
go
the
to Shane.
legendary Dan Gable. Coach Gable, I got to ask you, having a good time?
This might be a great time for me. You know, I usually don't brag a whole lot, and it takes a lot for me to have a good time. It's either got to be with family, which I have a lot of family here, and wrestling. And so when I look around, wow, this is crazy. I don't know, it's 40, 50,000 people, but it's a great meet, and it's breaking all and shattering all the records. That's what I'm all about. And I'm sitting with the president of the school, the new president, Bruce Harold. So, we're getting him to understand the sport a little better. And so, I'm having a great time.
Always great to see you. Time for 165. Back to you, TJ.
Thank you, Shane, the great Dan Gable. 21 years as a head coach, 15 NCAA championships, 21 Big Ten championships here at Iowa. A great spokesman of our sport. We're ready for 165 pounds. Speaking of great, one of the all-time great Oklahoma States has a chance to be a three-timer, Alex Deringer. He's got a 49-match streak going. He's a two-time NCAA champion. He's going up against Patrick Rhodes, a senior out of Kansas City, Staley High School, where he was a two-time state champ in Missouri.
Really tough duty for Rhodes here in this situation for the Hawkeyes. And, that Deringer has been one of the better wrestlers since he's actually his freshman year at any weight class he's been in. He finished third at 157 his freshman year, and then 2 national titles the last 2 years. So, been a dominant wrestler at this weight. Likes to work off that right hand, inside bicep tie. Not so much off the elbow like you see a lot of the Oklahoma State wrestlers. Got a great near arm far leg, and he'll take people to their back with it. Actually, he's from Wisconsin, so he's used to this kind of weather.
Out of his 33 wins last year, 28 had major decisions or more. Alex Deringer.
Right there,
just
see
boom, right to that ankle pick.
Yeah, it loves to work off that. The left arm is his power arm on the shot. Just drove right through, and he's going to want to wrestle on his feet. Again, this was the premier bonus point situation here for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. I mean, they were very fortunate to come off with a win there at 157 with Marsteller, but it made it a meet. And now they got to count on their Cowboy captain. And here you see one of the calls right now, stalemate on the interlocking fingers. You're going to see that call quite a bit more.
Giving them a chance this time. The next time they'll determine who was the initiator, and they'll warn them.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy to talk about who's initiating it here, because if you come at your opponent with your palm up, all right, with your fingers spread apart, you're naturally going to get those fingers collapsed. So referee has one more thing to think about, and he also has to have the right angle to call that. There, off the double leg, under a nice job of cutting the corner here by Deringer. Right there, he's looking for takedown and potentially back points, and Patrick Rhodes did a nice job of staying off his back on that one.
You're looking at one of the best in Alex Deringer, the Cowboy, two-time NCAA champion, and not just in folk style is he good. He's a tremendous freestyler, been around the world, a junior world champ, and he'll be trying to beat the best there is, Jordan Burroughs, when it comes Olympic trials time after his career for the Cowboys. But he certainly got the skill sets for the after college time.
And he put himself in a little bit of a box here, because now he's made a determination by giving up that release at the end of the edge of the mat. Is it, do you want to let Rhodes be the last guy to score? So expect him to come with his best offense right there. And so far 20 seconds with one attempt. Right back at it. He gets a stall warning for his activity.
Warning for stalling on Iowa's Rhodes.
Rhodes has his rear end to the mat. Back in on that leg and switch off to the double leg. Comes the other direction. Has plenty of room to score. So
a stalling against Rhodes and a takedown for Deringer in the last 10 seconds of this first period. Deringer out in front, 6-2.
That's the activity level you see from a champion. 37 seconds left at the end of a period. Went one direction, went the other. Once he's in on a leg, he just doesn't try to pull it in with his arms. His lower body gets very active, and he scored the takedown. 35 seconds of riding time in favor of Derringer with those 3 takedowns.
Derringer trying to tighten the score up. The Hawkeyes out in front 10-6 at the halfway mark, and if he can get a major decision or more, he could either tie it up for the Cowboys or go ahead.
Yeah, they're slick takedowns. They're not necessarily the type activity in this match where Rhodes is going to get real tired, so it's not like you're going to grind a guy down and pin him here. So you try to and Derringer is a pinner. He can go ahead and bring it from the top position.
One of the biggest and best sports weekends in Hawk history. I just handed the total attendance coming through the turnstile today, 42,287. There won't be, they will be among the highest in football attendance this Saturday, and we're looking around, and this place is really, really packed.
Well, last year the Hawks in January and February wrestled in front of 100,000 people. Paying customers watch this team, at Penn State, national duels, their own home schedule at Oklahoma State. But now they're off to a flying start here to match and exceed that amount. Congratulations to the Hawkeye Athletic Department, this wrestling program.
They've been thinking about this for a while. In fact, a friend told me he first heard about it when Gary Kurtelmeyer mentioned, wouldn't it be great to wrestle? But do you think maybe when they were walking out of Penn State set the record last winter with nearly 16,000. He said to Luke Eustace, Coach Brands did, all right, let's go.
A little history lesson. Way back in the day, Iowa wrestled Oklahoma State in the field house, and they basically put mats all the way through the basketball court, right? They had one big square, and it amounted to maybe 2.5 mats, and so there's a nice double leg shot there right at the end of the period again. So match score up to 8-2, but the Hawks have been known to put wrestle in a big arena, used to doing that, but that's why they have a limit on the size of the mat, is because the Hawks took advantage of that rule and made a huge mat. It was quite a spectacle.
Patrick Rhodes will go down to begin the third period, trailing 10-2. A dominant performance so far by the 2-time NCAA champion, 3-time All-American, Alex Derringer. Man, Alex Derringer can beat you in every position.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Tim. But he's not really much of a pusher. So he's not really getting the pressure back from Rhodes on his shot. So everything he's hit has been fairly slick and below the knee. And this is the more physical wrestling that you'd kind of expect to see when a guy's trying to run up the score. Working that snap, pushing in,
Coach Smith was saying when people would come into the room and watch practice, they end up watching Alex Derringer, and he has a hard time keeping him with practice partners because they seem to, in his words, just drift away.
Yeah, well, that's in the beginning of practice. That happens with all the great ones. The coach has to determine the practice partners for it. Nice job by Rhodes fighting off that attempt.
12-4 with a minute left.
Good portion of the Hawkeye faithful here appreciated the effort there that Rhodes put in getting out of that attack. Again, so far, got a long ways to perhaps get bonus points. Got to create that action. Oh, that's nice. In, out, back in, attack at the angle. And I don't think right now Coach Smith is looking at 14-4 score. Remember, with the 4-point near fall, all you have to do is turn them for that 4 points, and then with the riding time, you'd have the tech fall. So, not much action. Rhodes comes up to his feet.
20 seconds left in regulation, and Alex Derringer showing you why he's already a 2-timer, looking to be a 3-timer and one of the best in Cowboy history. You got Eric Guerrero in the corner as one of the assistant coaches, who's a 3-time NCAA champion for the Cowboys, and Alex Derringer trying to join that great company. He wins today with a riding time 17-5. That's 4 points. It's all tied up. The Hawkeyes and the Cowboys 10-10 after 6. There's 4 more. We just saw Alex Derringer at 165, but we've got the lineups for the rest out. The Defense Soap lineups. Defend what you have built. Offense wins matches. Defense keeps you on the mat. Visit them on the web at defensesoap.com. And so
This is a big one. 174. Crutchmer and Meyer. They split in 2 matches before. Either Rogers and Boyd and Brooks, Schaefer and Burak, and then the All-American Austin Marsden going up against the freshman Sam Stoll. It could come down to that.
Well, Alex Meyer for Hawks taking over for Mike Evans, who had a 3-time All-American career. And the number 6 rating here, I mean, a lot of this weight class has cleared out at 174. Crutchmer was the 5th place winner last year and the highest returning place winner, so that's his number 1 ranking. But Alex Meyer had a good season last year in backup and had some nice wins against some ranked wrestlers. So,
and this is the big one, tonight's feature match. It's brought to you by PerlerWrestling.com for camps and much more. PerlerWrestling.com. And so here we got Kyle Crutchmer, the junior All-American. Beat Mike Evans for 5th place to get that All-American spot. That was Iowa's starter last year at this weight class, keeping Alex Meyer out of the NCAAs.
Wow.
Whoa!
Duck under to a headlock, and that's tight, guys. Oh.
Big move by Crutchmer.
And Meyer's doing a nice job of trying to get his belt buckle to the mat, right? You can't pin a guy if that's the case. That left leg, there's enough torque on that upper body to flop that left leg over, or that right leg of Myers over. It's trouble for him, but that's a tight headlock. And notice the grip of it. It's probably going to be called illegal.
Four points.
Right, and the headlock slipped into an illegal position. It looked like he take a look on the replay here. Nice, watch the duck under here. Now headlock the other direction. It's a lot like what Caldwell did from North Carolina State against Brett Metcalf at the NCAA Finals. Right?
You called it, Jim. It was a technical violation.
Well, he had it. It was legal to begin with, and it slipped out. The arm slipped out, so he just had a hold of the head, and I thought that was a great call.
Caution on Meyer for jumping the gun. He's got to be motionless for at least a second. Well, Jeff Cook will bring him back to that position. What a way to bring the crowd quiet. The Cowboy 174-pounder Kyle Crutchmer with the big headlock, 2-point takedown and 4-point near fall. But 6-2 now with the escape.
It happened early enough in the match, though, that there's plenty of wrestling left in this. But you know, no question about it. Meyer's going to have to get on his horse and really put the pressure on Crutchmer. And Crutchmer, knowing that here, is pretty good at holding position in the center of the mat. You won't see many times that he'll go off, but
Alex Meyer out of Southeast Polk is the state champion there, and now he's finally into the lineup after wrestling behind Mike Evans the last couple of years.
And Meyer really doesn't have a tie. He's got an over collar right there, but now he's got the collar tie he wants. Now you see that elbow tie off of for Crutchmer. Meyer really has to get busy and start taking some risk at some point in this match now. I mean, this is a critical. And just maybe keeping the pace up. You know, you can't settle for a slow pace right now once you've given up the big move. It's over. There's no undressing it. It's
Kyle Crutchmer out of the storied Tulsa Union program. Wrestled for his dad, and he also a football player for that powerhouse football team in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And again, what Meyer's doing is giving up that he's able to go ahead and get the takedown. Yep, and that's just
now all of a sudden it's 6-4. It's a 2-point match in the first period.
Absolutely. Crutchmer is 52 seconds left, and you know what? We were at the All-Star meet where he was defeated in an exhibition match with against Epperly from Virginia Tech, and you really got the sense that he had a hard time keeping the pace of the match up. But you know, since then they've weighed in about 3 times. Oklahoma State has, and
crowd back in it with Meyer's takedown. 35 seconds left in the first period.
And the battle here now is that Meyer really, if he gives up an escape, has really got to keep stay aggressive on the feet. Crutchmer probably will be content just to get the escape or reversal.
Got the hips away just for a minute, but no. Meyer did a nice job of
with
getting
the left
back.
arm right there. He controlled it, right? And now Crutchmer is settling. And I don't think Crutchmer's used to a man on his right side of his body. That's another thing that you can just tell that he's not the same wrestler when you're riding on the right-hand side. Good end of the period for Meyer.
Meyer back in it after getting thrown to his back and almost pinned. Short time into the match. He's got a look in his eye.
Here's the look at the situation. You know, Crutchmer was going for that same technique, but got a little bit lazy and brought his hips in, and then just the activity level of Myers, understanding that he was at risk, he wrestled through the situation and got a takedown and rode him out for the period, which I thought was pretty impressive.
Do you see that look in his eye? It's like Seabiscuit, you know. You're looking for that old look in the eye, and Meyer just gave it to his corner.
Yeah, he'll bring it the whole match. And now the activity level, you know, you just can't settle in ties if you're Meyer, and if you're Crutchmer, you know, you're the deception that you can bring to the party here is really key, and maybe still look for your offense. Crutchmer seems to be very content with just holding position out there.
Six to 5 in favor of Kyle Crutchmer, the junior, out of Spokane, Washington, Meade High School. Or no,
double leg there.
Tulsa Union, I'm sorry.
This is he's got him down to his rear end there. Yep, nice drive. Got Meyer walking into it and able to follow it up with a quick escape as Meyer. Meyer's keeping the pace up.
Nice job by Crutchmer there.
Yep, takedown. And you know, when you're in the center of the mat,
in on it, looking for the far leg.
Yeah,
Meyer.
But he's got the elbow, he's got the knee locked up. See, that's elbow deep around the thigh. Meyer somehow's got to create some hip separation. All right. And
there's the two.
Wow, tied up.
All tied up, 8-8. 30 seconds left in the second period.
42,000
Crutchmer
strong.
not moving too much.
No, he's not.
Stalling, warning on Crutchmer.
Again, he's not used to having somebody ride him on the right side. He's not hitting any changeover techniques, and that's natural for Meyer to be over there. It's really shut his offense down from the down position.
And the crowd back into it. Almost 3 times as many as are in Carver Hawkeye.
Yeah.
42,000 plus in Kinnick Stadium today for this collision between the two most storied wrestling programs in college history. The Oklahoma State Cowboys, 34 NCAA titles. Iowa, 23 NCAA titles. It's early, it's outside, it's incredible.
And it's 104 of advantage time here for Meyer. Amazing he's been able to work himself out back into this match.
10-10 on the scoreboard. If you're just joining us, Oklahoma State's Kyle Crutchmer hit a headlock, threw Meyer to his back early, was out in front 6-0, almost pinned him, and Alex Meyer has grinded his way all the way back to tying this match up. That's a second caution on Kyle Crutchmer. The third one will be a point against him. You get 2 cautions before a point. You got to stay set, motionless for a second underneath before the official blows the whistle.
And then see how Crutchmer was able to get out from underneath. Now he goes right to the edge of the
mat. He can't back out. That's warning.
Yeah.
Yes, you cannot back out.
When you go there,
you gotta think.
When you go there right off of the escape and go right to the edge of the mat, you really set yourself up. So like you're talking about, Tim, tactically just a nightmare.
Oh, he did not think there. I mean, he just backed right off.
Yeah, but so, you know,
it's not last year.
When you see your opponent there and you push him off and he goes straight out. So, again, the pilot light is out again. The riding time is in favor of Meyer.
So right now, if they remain on their feet, Meyer would have come all the way back to win because he does have riding time. Crutchmer has to take him down to win.
You know, what Crutchmer's looking for doesn't seem to be able to find it. And Meyer just holding position in the center of the mat. He's got the 1-point lead. I'm not convinced that Crutchmer knows he's down. Yeah, he's on the offense. Now there's on a shot.
Nice
shot.
shot.
Yeah, but he's not able to switch off to the double. He gets it. Now he's able to score. Yes. Now will he able to cut riding time? It's down to 110. Critical juncture in the match right now. And they go off with 1:03 left in the riding time. So
Crutchmer really out in front, 11-9. He'll probably erase riding time right here, unless Meyer can come up in 3 seconds.
And the Oklahoma State staff is telling him hold him down for 4 seconds. And he's just going to continue to stay with him.
Okay, Meyer down now. It's 11-10, and that is the score. There's no riding time advantage.
And he can give up a stall warning too if he even goes straight off the mat. This time he circles back in, shows a little more awareness. Meyer's picking up the pace. Short time.
All the way back to get your heart broken.
Yeah, what a job by Meyer making this a match after going down 6-0.
Wow, Crutchmer out in front 6-0 with that headlock. Meyer comes all the way back to tie it, go ahead with riding time. Crutchmer with the late takedown to seal the victory, erase the riding time, and the Cowboys go out in front 13-10. And we'll come back for the next 3 matches, 184, 197, and heavyweight after this. Never before has anything like this happened in college wrestling. The University of Iowa Kinnick Stadium filled up with 42,287. Our State Farm state of success is the University of Iowa and all the fans that made up the 42,287, a new world record. Congratulations to the University of Iowa and the 42,000 plus fans, our State Farm state of success. Wow. Phenomenal experience. The sun's up, the fans are out, and we're ready for 184 pounds. And Sammy Brooks is going to try to get Iowa back in a position to either be tied or ahead. Going up against Jordan Rogers.
Yep, Jordan Rogers be the Cowboy.
I mentioned Spokane, Washington. That's where Jordan Rogers is from, Meade High School, Spokane, Washington. Jordan Rogers, he was the #1 recruit in his weight class coming out of high school, and he just hasn't been able to put it together yet. He was a double champ at the National Juniors in high school. Sammy Brooks out of Oak Park River Forest. He was coached by Hall of Famer Mike Powell. He was a 2-time state champion, and he gets the opportunity here to get the Hawks going, and he will be favored to do that. Jordan Rogers, a junior. Sammy Brooks, a junior.
Sammy Brooks had a lot of experience and yet to place here for the Hawkeyes, but you know what? He's beaten a lot of All-Americans in his career, wrestles a physical match. And I think, you know, Coach Brands would talk about his tournament that he was in a match last year in the consolations where he kind of threw himself to his back against the Cowboy Nolan Boyd. Boyd went on to become an All-American, and Brooks wasn't. So Brooks in on a shot. Nice job. Nice finish on that. Really good. Ran the pipe really well.
Textbook by Sammy Brooks.
You know, and we've seen one thing here, that the Hawks seem to be in pretty good condition all the way through their matches. They've been the better conditioned team to this point. Nice job on the escape there by Rogers.
50th meeting between Oklahoma State and Iowa in the 100th year of wrestling for the storied program of Oklahoma State. They were Oklahoma A&M early on, and 34 national titles later, they are in their 100th year. And what a way to come up and celebrate the start of their 100th year, Jim.
Another Brooks in on that shot again, doing a great job. Yeah, just doing a great job of that old run the pipe. You know, straddle that leg and get the man moving towards the leg that's up, right? And Rogers has nothing for that. So, bonus points right now with 4 matches to go are going to be critical. Hawks favored in this match, of course, and probably with this match with 3 matches to go. Hawks favored in this match and also favored at 97. And there's a wrist tilt. He's able to get it. 1 count. Now he's got to load him up on his hips. He's able to do that. There's the count. This will go all the way to 4.
That's 4 points. 4-point near fall for Sammy Brooks. Now it's 8-1 in the first period, and this is what the doctor ordered for the Hawkeyes.
Again, like I was trying to mention, 3 matches left. Bonus points are critical here because the Cowboys will be favored at heavyweight, and at 97, Iowa will be favored. So split those. This is a match where you can go ahead and jump out and get that 8-point decision. You're going to give another point to your team. And Brooks is well on his way to doing just that. I like this 4-point near fall. It's tough to turn a guy in college, and you are well rewarded for being able to keep a man down on his back. There he is. He's got the near wrist tilt. Yeah. Rarely do you see a fall off of a single wrist ride like that for a tilt, but that's another 4.
4 more. And remember, you win by 15, it's 5 points. So this is a big start for Sammy Brooks in front of 42,000 plus. You think of that kind of attendance for wrestling, you got to go back to the turn of century, and that's another Iowan, Frank Gotch, one of the American heroes. He wrestled for a world title in front of 31,000 in old Comiskey Park. And Mike Chapman wrote a great book about the history of Iowa wrestling, called it From Gotch to Gable. And one would think that you'd never see 31,000 plus again outside, but today it has happened, and Sammy Brooks is making it happen.
Well,
here.
One more escape takedown, so, you've got a 15-1 score plus riding time. All right, 15-1 score plus riding time. Plenty of time. Looking over at the Iowa corner, see if there's a release call here. Telling him, Coach Morningstar is talking about staying behind the arms. Now he gives him the release. Again, takedown here would make it 17-2, and that's it, technical fall. But Brooks gives up the position.
Does not give up the takedown.
Yeah. And the Hawks are in a comfortable position here with his team. Just any bonus points will do. I think that they'd like to see Brooks just hit something solid. Just go back to that near shot. Right, there it is. Run the pipe. Now he's going to bring it up.
Treetop, 2.
That's
it's over. A technical fall for Sammy Brooks. 5 points for the Hawkeyes. They jump from 10 to 15. They go out in front 15-13. Sammy Brooks, your winner at 184.
17-2. Sammy Brooks, the winner over Jordan Rogers.
As we get ready for 197 with the Hawks out in front 15-13 with that technical fall by Sammy Brooks, we welcome in a big wrestling fan Matt Millen, who is BTN's analyst and here for the big football game between the rivals, Minnesota and Iowa. Matt hardly ever misses an NCAA championship. He loves the sport. Matt, welcome.
Oh, this is awesome. I mean, what a great day. What a great day for wrestling. This is just, I came in here today and I didn't expect to see what we actually got here. But what an awesome match this last match was, wasn't it?
42,287.
Yeah, I read this morning that Cale Sanderson said he's keeping an eye on what they do out there because he wants to do that back in Pennsylvania.
John Smith told us he feels the responsibility to do the same thing in Oklahoma State's football stadium, so the bar's been raised.
I think it's great for wrestling. I think this is one of the things that wrestling needs. A nice shot in your arm is a great idea.
Well, we're getting ready for 197. It's Nathan Burek, the All-American, number 4 ranked from Colorado Springs, Coronado High School, up against Austin Schaefer, junior for Oklahoma State. And Coach, you enjoy this sport. Help us call it.
Well, Burek's been in this sport for a long time. His family, I watched his brother wrestle back at Penn. And Burek is typical Iowa wrestler. He'll wrestle right in the middle of the mat. He'll come right at you, right down the middle. It's kind of interesting watching the two different styles of what they do. Burek will try to stay inside, try to control inside. And John Smith's teams always have tried to kind of control the elbows, but they've kind of followed suit here today.
Well, this is Nolan Boyd.
Yeah, it's Nolan Boyd out there.
The All-American, and he's up a weight, and he's replaced Austin Schaefer. So John Smith, not afraid to risk it, move it up, do something special.
Yeah, have to. Yeah, Boyd is the kind of guy that can go out there in his offense. He's got a big motor, and they've had problems at 97, so kind of expected this move. And right now it's kind of out of desperation after those bonus points that Brooks was able to put up on 84.
Interestingly, to me today, it looked like Oklahoma State is not as in as good shape as what we're watching Iowa. Iowa's been going after him the whole match from snap to whistle.
Yeah, this is
nice takedown by Nathan Burek.
Yeah, good 2-on-1 there, just hooked the near leg. When you move up a weight, particularly if you've weighed in at the lower weight, it's tough adjustment here. You can see the physical stature of these two guys. Boyd is really kind of giving up some power in the upper body. And, Burek last year was a guy that was just competitive. That 97-pound weight class, he had the world champion in it, Kyle Snyder, Kyvan Gadsden, the eventual national champion. But that whole, it was top to bottom, one of the best weight classes in the country. He had the returning national champion in it. So, Burek was able to place in that weight class, kind of be the best of the rest. And, expect big things from him, and for the Hawks to compete for a national title, they're going to need him.
Well, an opportunity right now to talk about Snyder for a minute. Burek actually beat Snyder once last year.
Right.
What an incredible performance. Jim, you had the opportunity to call some, and Matt, I'm sure you followed the World Championships. A 19-year-old, youngest ever, Kyle Snyder for Ohio State winning that. That was awesome for USA.
Yeah, and he won it kind of it was a close bout. Burek stayed in it, and then Kyle got a kind of a hurt shoulder, and so they ended up calling Snyder ended up Burek went to the down position and got another additional escape, in which made a tight match. But
the one thing about that is Burek's not backing down out of anything. No. He's been in all the situations before. He's comfortable in tough situations, and I just love the way he wrestles. He'll stay right smack dab in the middle of the mat. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And with the new rules this year, you can't back out. It's a stalling. Right. You can't back out, you can't pull out, you can't push out. And so I thought they've been calling it consistently today. It's a new rule this year.
Yeah, I like it also. That makes you wrestle. Makes you stay inside, makes you be aggressive. They reward the aggressive wrestler.
And we've seen some faux pas with the rule already, where a guy goes and gets an escape like Krushner did and almost gave the match away because he went right to the edge and then back straight out, and that could have cost him the match. And fortunately for him, he got the takedown. But you know what? You've got to be able to be having that mentality that edge of the mat, that circle is, it's made of fire. You got to move away from it as aggressively as you can.
It's interesting just watching at the highest level. You still comes down to good fundamental wrestling.
Yeah.
So you're still talking about inside position. You're still talking about leverage and using all the things that you were taught as a kid.
Well, and so much of it is the flow between the upper body. A lot of times the guys will be set up. You've set them up with your upper body, but your lower body is not moving in right. concert. It's not no different than a block or you talk about wrestlers doing well. And that's why we brought you in here at 97 pounds. Is that hey, a lot of these guys have played a lot of football. You know, you were that size at one time. Yeah.
And you can see it. You know, I remember watching Stephen Neal, and when he was a world champion, and I watched him win the NCAAs a couple times, and as soon as you looked at the kid, you're like, that guy could play and had the size to be able to do it at the next level. Of course, he was a Pro Bowler for the New England Patriots, and so I see a lot of carryover from the wrestling mat onto the field, football field, and vice versa.
Couple of thoughts here. Hall of Fame just announced their new inductees. Carlton Hasselrig will go into the Wrestling Hall of Fame, and he was quite a football player in his time. Had a few problems that he had to overcome, but what a wrestler he was at Pittsburgh St. John, won some Division IIs, went up to the next level, and dominated.
Well, you know, Matt, you've also been a wrestling parent, right?
Yes,
absolutely. I think the first time I met you was in the Dallas Cowboys practice field, and we had a buddy that coached there, and you were about ready to do a game. And your son was a wrestler and ended up going to Brown University. And so
my oldest guy went to Princeton, wrestled there, and my second guy played football at West Point. They were after him to wrestle all the time. Nice job by Burak.
Oh, wow.
Trying to get the takedown right on the edge. Nice.
So you've been a parent in this sport. Maybe one of the tougher sports to be a parent in.
You know, to be honest with you guys, I would make it a prerequisite for anybody playing who wants to play football, they should wrestle. And I think every parent should have to sit and watch their kid wrestle, so then they could sit in the stands, keep their mouth shut, and let what's going to happen.
Next to a mom. I mean, you know, next to a mom. I mean, man, I'll tell you what, you're going to get beat up. But I just was handed a sheet yesterday by one of the staff at the University of Iowa football with the number of players on the team that wrestled successfully in high school. Kirk Ferentz believes in that for his line.
And we talk about it all the time. And usually when I come in to do a game, one of the first things I want to know is how many kids wrestled on your team, because they have a mindset that's different. They get and understand being uncomfortable, and they're comfortable with being uncomfortable. I think they're an asset in any team you have.
Well, match score here 5-2. Seems like it's been all Burak, but have you seen there's been some big moves in this meet, right? You know, that's what you get sometimes early bouts. You get the, you know, guys going to their backs, not necessarily, you know, fighting it off all that well. There's been a lot of back points. There's been a lot of, you know, big moves, big scramble situations here, more than what you'd expect.
And this is typical of a kid who's moved up. He's not quite sure of what he's getting with Burak. Probably hasn't seen him very much. Burak is in control the whole time. I love the way he controls his head. He's always looking for a shot.
Big 97-pounder. It really is.
Matt, you're probably going to take the easy way out. You're calling the big Iowa football game tonight, and you're going to go up into the press box. You're not even going to be down. I mean, you know.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. What an awesome day, though. Isn't this? Look how beautiful this is. I think this is fantastic. We got to do this more often.
Yeah, we needed sunscreen down here for 2 hours.
A never-before-seen event. Two college teams on a Division I football stadium, never before, and who better than Oklahoma State and Iowa?
Completely agree.
And Oklahoma State has a football team that's, you know, really making some heads swing, and so it's a good time on both campuses for their sports teams, and 110,000 going through these turnstiles today.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that both these programs have in common, tight relationships between their wrestling coaches and their football coaches. You know,
Mike Gundy
kind of grew up with John Smith
and wrestled with him.
Yeah, in the same era, and then, you know, who's not a big fan of Kirk Ferentz, and has got close relationships with all of his coaches at Iowa. And Tom Brands has come out and said, hey, I'd love to play for the guy. You know, straightforward guy, and they fit each other's universities, institutions very well. I think the fan bases like to see that too, where their coaches get along really well and work with each other.
Burak down to a minute here, and he's in complete control.
Yeah. Again, the bonus points by Brooks.
That's going to be the difference.
Yep. Crowd understanding the significance of this match.
Nice shot, but just not enough mojo there. Great hips by Burak, able to do it all day long against his lighter opponent. And Matt, you're right. I mean, Burak just keeps his position so well all the time.
Good, great fundamentals. Same thing as our football team.
Nice hold of position. I wouldn't expect him to try to score, but Boyd's coming hard, going to snap. You can really commit to that. Just keep in position, like you mentioned, Matt, in the middle of the mat. Yeah. Might take the easy points if they come, but understands the significance of this point in the meet.
Yeah. This match is over. Great job by Burak, in control the whole time.
Workmanlike by Nathan Burak, and 3 more points for the Hawkeyes. They go out in front 18-13. And Matt Millen, thanks so much for joining us, and have a great call with the Hawkeyes. Thanks for your support of the sport.
Yeah, appreciate your support.
Great sport. Yeah. Best sport going. Thank you guys. Appreciate
it. Matt. All right, we're got the score of Iowa 18, Oklahoma State 13. They're not out of it. There's 6 points for a pin, and so Marsden, the All-American, will go up against the freshman, Sam Stoll, when we come back. Can the Cowboys get the big one, or will Iowa hold on and win? We'll come back for the heavyweights next. Wrestling on BTN is presented by Cliff Keen Athletic, built for life, and brought to you by Resolite, customer-focused, athlete-driven. Well, it comes down to this, the heavyweight match. The Cowboys, all they got to do is pin. It's a big order, but it's possible. He's an All-American going up against a freshman, Sammy Stoll for Iowa. The Hawkeyes lead 18-13. 42,000 fans have been entertained, Jim.
No doubt about it. I think so. Everybody's so well pleased with this event, how it's come off. Marsden, phenomenal day for wrestling.
Marsden out of Crystal Lake, Illinois. All-American as a sophomore. Missed it last year. Sammy Stoll out of Minnesota. Redshirt freshman. Was behind Telford, has Telford in the room along with Ben Burhow. Good workout partners.
You know, all the guys that have great workout partners, you know, you think that, you know, a lot of 285-pounder heavyweight wrestlers don't get the type of big guys that they need to go against, but you've got Burhow and Telford, and so I expect to see a freshman that's wise beyond his years in this situation, and you know, it's comfortable for him. Marsden is the type of wrestler, he's got the full array of attacks. You know, I think John Smith would like to see more out of him as far as that goes, but he's also tough in the top position. You know, what a weight class that has been over the last few years, that 285-pound weight class at the NCAAs, the athletic ability, you know, national champion. Nick Wisdowski's back, Adam Kuhn from Michigan. The Big Ten has just been loaded with solid heavyweights, and now Stoll has an opportunity to join that group.
Sam Stoll out of Casino Motoville High School, Cass in Minnesota.
Came out of high school, one of the top recruits in the country, top recruit in his weight class.
Both these guys compete internationally. Sam Stoll was bronze medalist in the Junior Worlds in Greco in 2013, and Marsden, freestyler in Junior World. His uncle Charlie Cross was a football player at Iowa and player for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And both these athletes kind of settling Yeah, early in the match, you kind of see a little bit more, snatch single where you don't leave your, don't go down to your knees. You kind of reach for it, see if you get a guy stepping into it. But Marston is able to drop to the knee and come back up. He does have that skill set.
Won state championships, not at heavyweight, but at 189 and 215, so he's worked his way up. Good looking body, and like I said, sophomore All-American. Last year missed out.
I think there's some mileage here for Stoll here with that left-handed underhook he's got. They're going to go off the mat. Actually, Marston looked like he was circling back in, but Stoll's going to get the call.
So warning, stalling, circling out.
If I'm in the Oklahoma State corner, I'm not altogether. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It looks like Marston needs to pick up the pace. Again, he's having a difficult time with that left-handed underhook. Stoll get back into that thing. I think he could really push him around a little bit. So he's in on it right now. And Marston just appears to be settling.
Oklahoma State now with a 10-team conference, the Big 12. From 4 to added 6 teams. Bob Bowlesby, the commissioner of the Big 12, John Smith, gives him a lot of credit, but that's good for the sport, Jim.
No question about it. I think Oklahoma State, John talked about having more teams even beyond the 10 teams entering into that, and I think that's going to be good for wrestling to have the type of conference tournament like the Big 10 has. I mean, it's, to watch the Big 10 tournament is like the quarterfinals or like the round of 16 at the NCAAs. The semifinals are like the quarterfinals at the NCAA. So you got that level of competition.
And that opportunity now in the Big 12 with teams like Utah Valley and San Diego or South Dakota State, Northern Colorado, and others.
Air Force, Wyoming.
Mark Branch doing a great job at Wyoming and former several-time NCAA champion for the Cowboys.
I dinged him again. And I think, you look over at the Oklahoma State corner.
They're going, what are you thinking?
Yeah, what is he thinking? Because you've got to address this if you're... See, look at how high the right elbow of Marston is. You don't let a guy get that high on you. That's why I think that Stoll has some mileage here if he can push him around a little bit there, and he's already got the call. So kind of identified that pretty early as what Marston is accepting.
And you talked about it, that Marston does have great attacks, but it's kind of like if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around, does anybody hear it? Did it really make a sound? I mean, does he really have the attack if he doesn't attack?
I don't think the tree's falling and nobody's around. So. Double leg, there's what I'm talking about. He does have the ability to score like that. So.
And he made us all hear that one. What a great shot by Marston there. He might have heard me say something because he does have it. What a shot.
There's 42,000 people in the forest and the tree just fell.
And everybody heard it.
And this is the other part of the match where, Stoll is still a freshman and you want to challenge freshmen in the bottom position. And so, I would assume that he would want to stay up here just to maybe possibly turn him.
The crowd trying to urge Stoll to his feet.
See how he's allowed the right elbow and the right wrist to get, right elbow's out, the right wrist gets captured. And I don't really, like I said, you always want to test freshmen in the bottom position, and Marston really wasn't active enough in this match to be able to do that.
We go to the third period. The last period in regulation, the score 3-1 in favor of Marston for the Cowboys over the Hawkeye Stoll.
That right out was really important, Tim, because of the stall warning and point that was given out. So makes it a 3-1 score. And Stoll chose neutral. So there's a little bit of a recognition there. They did not want Marston on top of him. 3-1 score. Again, if Stoll can get busy with that underhook on the left-hand side and take some ground. Half shot. All right. Now they're really wanting him to come hard with the spiral ride and break him down. Stoll. Head down, shoelaces flat. We talked about this position. Now Stoll builds back up. I think they wanted, the Oklahoma State coaching staff would like to see Marston get a little bit higher, create some action. Not really responsive to his corner. And again, Stoll hanging on here. You probably see that this is a position that he struggled in. Is the down position. That's why he chose neutral to begin with.
30 seconds left in regulation time. Can Marston turn him and get the fall and the Cowboys come away with a big victory, or will Stoll be able to keep his base and the Hawkeyes win?
Doing a good
We'll
job.
find out.
Doing a good job of keeping his wrist clean. Now he's building back up. Crowd trying to help him out.
And it's over. Marston wins for the Cowboys with riding time 6-1. 3 points makes the score 18-16. The Iowa Hawkeyes over the Oklahoma State Cowboys 18-16. The difference, Sammy Brooks and his technical fall are Cliff Keen, outstanding wrestler. Sammy Brooks, that technical fall, wow.
What an event, Tim. All right, you know, it's mid-November. The NCAA championships here 4 months away, 4.5 months away, but boy, was this a lot of fun. A lot of cap tipping to everybody involved here. You know what? And to get your team in this type of shape,